Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Michael here with Deeper States Mind and Wellness. I know it's a weird time for me to be on, but I'm going to see what we do with the 2 o'clock show. Um, I have been like crazy, crazy busy. Want to tell you guys a little bit about what's going on. So we're working on doing a week weight loss challenge that you will all be able to join, and that's been going on for quite some time, but I think we're like really, really close. I'm hoping that we can get people on board with that and actually make a difference in their lives because a lot of people go through weight loss and will gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. Some of you saw the video this morning. I'm actually back at the gym and I'm working out at 6:30 in the morning with a friend of mine and kind of getting her to release weight. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what hypnosis is. And I know I've covered this before. Some of you who don't know who I am, um, I'll let you know who I am in a minute. But imagine what it'd be like if you had gone to your doctor and he tells you that you need to start eating healthy because you're having a little bit of weight problem and it's affecting your heart. He gives you medication. You go home and never take that medication, you're never going to have a change of health, right? So, what happens a lot of times is that people are coming in for hypnotherapy or to a psychiatrist or to an MFT or to a marriage and family therapist, even though we go through the whole process of helping people understand what hypnosis and NLP is, or even what psychotherapy is, right? Or even what marriage and family therapy counseling is. But we cannot force a client to make change on their own. A client is not going to, they have to have a desire. And this is the thing, is that even if there is an inclination of desire with hypnosis, we can make those changes because it goes to the unconscious behavior, right? The unconscious mind is making those changes. So imagine if you're having a stroke and you're sitting there and you're expecting to just walk in and the doctor's going to magically heal you or cure you. That's probably not going to happen. And that's not going to happen with any therapy or any type of self-help or even guided meditation or guided help that we're going to be able to cause to make those changes happen. So a little bit about who I am. My name is Michael Almers. I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a neurolinguistic programmer. I use hypnosis as my vehicle and neurolinguistic programming to get the brain to respond the way that the physical body, the way we want the physical body to respond. So, for instance, if you're having a fear, you think of fear first. You could see like a giant cobra, right? And if you're afraid of snakes, you're going to have that impulse of like, oh my God, it's a snake. And then you can start feeling that sensation go through your body. Um, I've used NLP to go in, the neurolinguistic part to go in and flip those behaviors based on how the mind is thinking to get the body to respond differently. So now if you have a flute and you're a snake charmer, and then you know that the snake is far away from you and you're not going to get hit by the snake, but the snake loves to dance to music, then you're going to be able to go ahead and use the flute to get the snake to dance for you. So I guess it's kind of a weird way to go around to tell you guys kind of what NLP is, but I think that's a good definition. So we want the body to respond based upon the emotion and sensation that the mind is creating. So I've been in practice for over 21 years. I have done only hypnosis and NLP. I haven't done a lot of other extra stuff like spiritual counseling or past life regression unless I feel that we're going to use past life regression for a client session so we can go in and get them to connect to that past life and maybe learn something from them, right? I just don't think that it's important to go back and relive pain and trauma. That's not the kind of therapist I am. I've never been that kind of therapist. I'm not one to sit here and say, "Hey, you got to let's go back and feel it. Let's go back and experience it," because I think that comes from a psychiatrist or a psychologist that's going to sit there and guide you through those past histories. But if you come to use hypnosis and NLP, I kind of want you to know, kind of want you to know what's going on. What is it the change you want? What are you looking to make changes in your life? What are you looking to change, right? To achieve? I wanted to read you a definition. So hypnosis. The induction of state of consciousness in which a person apparently loses the power of voluntary action and is highly responsive to suggestion or direction. It uses it's used in therapy typically to recover suppressed memories or to allow modifications of behaviors by suggestions, has been reviewed but is still controversial due to not understanding exactly how the brain understands the system or the process of going into trance. It states right there, that it's influence, which I think everything's influence, right? If you're going to be influenced, how do you influence somebody? If you wanted to be a rock star, and you knew that when you were a little boy or girl, and you picked up the microphone and you started to sing, encouragement and guidance is going to get you to go into that feeling, and it's going to help you succeed even more so. I don't think that Lady Gaga's mother was looking at her and saying, "Oh, you really sucked," right? I mean, there was encouragement, there was buildup, there was a process. So hypnosis releases the unconscious mind and gets it to go in and connect to what it is that it truly desires. So if that little boy or girl, Lady Gaga, wanted to be that big star, she knew it and she believed it and she imagined it. She could go in and in her mind begin to feel it, see it, sense it, experience it, and it becomes that, right? So when somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, I just want to be fixed," we get that out in the first conversation. So this person I'm specifically discussing is an NLP practitioner. She has a neurological behavior patterns of understanding how the brain operates, not a hypnotist. So therefore, we go through the full pre-talk of, hypnosis. You can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. Again, it's embedded suggestion, right? The suggestion gets the unconscious mind to hopefully get the conscious mind to follow through. Um, Being a neurolinguistic programmer, we do create triggers that have you respond based upon what you're wanting. So I explain a little bit how an NLP trigger works because I think it's important to understand that. If you have the trigger of pleasure when you are doing something, let's say in front of a small audience at your local church and you're singing, and that fear becomes pleasure, and we trigger that in the unconscious mind to do a mental rehearsal of Lady Gaga walking out and standing on stage and singing and performing and feeling how wonderful it is. And we add something else. So now she's giving a gift of music because she's obviously gifted in her vocal cords. She's giving that to the public, and the public are loving that, and she's giving something back. So how we look at it is going to be a lot, right? It's going to have a lot to do with how you make those changes. But we can go into hypnosis and we can get that filter that believes that she's not going to be a good singer. She's not going to be the big star. She's not going to be. She's fighting and struggling to perform. If we take that and we remove that, we separate it, which what hypnosis does, and we get the unconscious mind to go through the visualization and the rehearsal, it sees it, feels it, senses it, and it starts to feel the energy or the passion of that. Then what happens is as they learn that, as it's embedded in the unconscious mind, then what's going to happen is it becomes part of who that person is. As long as it's continued to execute, as long as the trigger is popped. So it's kind of like cocking a gun, right? We got the gun cocked, we got it ready to go, and if you never pull the trigger, you don't know whether it's going to shoot or not. So same thing with hypnotherapy and NLP. When we embed the suggestion, the command has to be broken or popped in order for you to be able to execute and feel the emotions that I'm connecting to you in hypnosis. So her question was, could I not just go through and just kind of take control of her and get her to change this behavior, right? I want to read to you the a process that would work. You really would. And see, people will say, well, can you influence me to do something I don't want to do? I don't think you can unless you want to do it. So if there's a part of your unconscious mind that's always wanted to be a bank robber, and your father was a bank robber and your mother was a bank robber, therefore we probably more than likely can pop that trigger and set it up so you become a bank robber. But if it's morally not your belief system, I can't pass through that. I can't make that become who you are, if that makes sense. But this process, it works because we've seen it, and I'll name a few people that have actually utilized it. The process of pressuring somebody into adopting radically different beliefs by using systematic and often foreseeable means. They are the victims of brainwashing. Hitler brainwashed. We just had somebody in political office that used a lot of NLP and hypnotherapy. A lot of them have, a lot of them do. That's been the first time I've ever seen it go as far as it's ever gone. Hitler's another one that I saw go really, really far. And it's you look at it and you realize, wow, it was pushing, it was putting people into an uncomfortable situation and then changing. Another one is James Jones, and some of you young people on YouTube that are I have YouTube people on right now. Some of you don't know who James Jones was. That's the ultimate of brainwashing. I mean, he changed people's environments. The things that have to happen in order for brainwashing to happen is you change somebody's environment, you change something they're accustomed to, and you begin to reprogram them based on pain and pleasure. Okay, so So if I had brought my client into my office and I I guess, shackled her to the desk, I fed her, left the lights on like they do in the casino, right? It's kind of hypnotic. You never really know if it's day or night when you're in a casino. I mean, I'm sure some of you have sat there and played, the slot machine until 3 in the morning, and you're like, oh my God, it's 3 in the morning, only because you looked at your watch. But there's no clocks in there. There's no windows in casinos. I would have to do that environment. I'd have to create that environment here in my office. I'd shackle her down to the desk, feed her at odd times because we want the system to be all messed up. Keep the lights on 24/7. And let's say I want to make her one of my best mathematicians in the world, right? I want her to start doing everything mathematician. So everything based on math. Put her in the desk, just start feeding her problems after problems. She does solutions. She comes up with solutions. If she's got a problem, maybe she can come up on the other screen that I have over here and she can watch a video on how to move through that problem. So imagine what this young lady is going to be like 5 years down the road of doing nothing but math for me. She's going to be one of the best damn mathematicians I've ever had, right? Brainwashing is very real. And I think it happens more than we really believe it does. We don't, even when you fall asleep and you hear commercials at night, you're being brainwashed. The only difference is that your environment hasn't changed so much that it forces you to accept those suggestions. It forces you to make those changes. So that's the difference between brainwashing and hypnotherapy. I can't make you do something you don't want to do. But why would you come to me if you're looking to become something you don't want to become? Because if you're coming to become something you don't want to become, we're both fighting the same battle, right? We're both going to go in and we're going to fight that unconscious behavior of that's not who you are, that's not who you want to be, and we'll do that for forever. I mean, and I think a lot of times that's what happens in cognitive therapy, is that they'll come up and find the solution and find the resolve, but the client won't go and take action to have the resolve, or to in hypnosis to pop the trigger in NLP to get the neurology to change and for the body to react differently. So I think it's really important that when you're given a task or you're given something to do or to homework in therapy, it's really important that you go in and you actually do that homework. Not 3 days from now. It's better that you execute it the quicker the better, right? I walk out of this session, I feel empowered, I feel strong, I feel powerful. I've gone to a Tony Robbins event, or um, uh, any of the other motivational speakers. I was thinking his name's V. I can't remember his name. Um, Vanderchuck, and I can't remember he's got a different name, but Vanderchuck. So you go to one of his talks or one of his sessions, you come out really pumped up. If you go back into your same routine, your same situation, coming back into your office, sitting back down, doing exactly what you're doing, you're going to get exactly what you got. Okay. So the key is going to be to pop those triggers as soon as they're embedded in your unconscious mind, and that the filter has been removed. And that unconscious mind is like, okay, so if I execute this, this is how good it's going to feel. Well, now that's already sitting in the unconscious dialogue. So the minute they execute that, they're going to feel that sensation. Kind of like when you practice so hard to go into graduation and walk across that stage, all the way to like changing things, right? That's a little bit hypnotic, but it's also a little bit of brainwashing. Everybody's got to have a cap and gown, right? The pomp and circumstance is going to play, and everybody walks circumstance. We know that. Even now, if you hear that without you hear that right now and you're not in a graduation, that's the first thing that's going to come to your head. Oh, it's graduation. That's a graduation song. We are programmed, but we're not programmed enough to where I could have that person get up all of a sudden in the middle of that graduation and start screaming, take their clothes off, and run across stage. A day, you're going to get something really wonderful. And her favorite thing is a cheeseburger. So every time she hits 50 problems and she solves them perfectly, we're going to give her a cheeseburger. But then we're going to start to change that away a little bit. So we're going to create more pain, right? Because the more pain you create, the more that person's going to want to succeed. That's brainwashing, and I can't. I don't do that. I mean, I don't have the time or the energy, much less are we going to go through this whole process. And it was very interesting because I'm going to bring something up that I noticed the other day, and it's at the forefront of my mind right now. I was watching one of these. You know how people go out and they do these spiritual meditations with ashwasha, I believe is what it's called. I can't remember what the drug is called, but there's two drugs out there, and I know they're doing it now with mushrooms, with magic mushrooms. But the thing is that you're going into a full changeover through the drug, and then your mind is very open for suggestion. And I notice the language patterns that they're giving them. They'll say, you no longer want to live your life that way, do you? You don't, do you? And the person is like, no, I don't. Well, you're giving them the suggestion by making the embedded command become something that is already for them. So you're not giving them, it's kind of like saying, you're doing really well, aren't you? That's right, you are. So I've given you a suggestion that I'm embedding it so deep that there's no way for you to question that. Um, the interesting thing is that, and I see you guys are all populating on and off on here. So if you guys have questions, do me a favor. You can put it down in the comments, and I will actually see your comment come up, and I'll address that. But yeah, I mean, it's. I wish I could do that. I wish that I could be this mega god and come in and just create this change for you, but it doesn't work that way. But if you are looking to have change and you know what you're working on, right? You know where you want to be. You understand, okay, I have depression, anxiety because, my parents were in a horrible car accident when I was 10 years old and I lost them and now they're not around anymore and it's just me and I'm very sad and I'm very upset about that. I can help you change that. But if you have no reason or understanding why you've ever been depressed for the last 20 years, I'm probably not the place you want to start. You want to start with a psychiatrist or a therapist that can find the core root of where this is coming from. Then we can go ahead and we can change it, modulate it, get your unconscious mind to start seeing how your life is going to be different once you begin to make those changes. Every human being wants to be able to succeed or to have some kind of pleasure or sensation of knowing that they're good, right? That they're successful. Until you can find something that you're successful at, you're only not successful at something because you have never done it before. 99% of my people will tell me, well, I've never done that before. Well, you've never done it before, so how do you know if you can or can't do it? And if you have a feeling of pleasure attached to it that we put in your unconscious mind with hypnosis and NLP, then when you do it the first time, it feels 10 times as good. So then you're willing to do it again. All right. So anyway, if there's any questions, go ahead and put them in. I'm going to let you guys have a little bit of time for questions. I know this is kind of not, it's short today, much shorter than I normally do. And the reason is because this was just weighing in on me. I was at the treadmill today this morning and I was running and thinking, I wonder how many people really sit there and think, "Oh my God, he's got this magic wand. He's just gonna pop me in the head, and I'm gonna make change." If it was a hammer and I popped you in the head, we probably could make change, right? So anyway, all right, you guys, I am going to bring this to an end, and it's Thursday, Thirsty Thursdays. Do me a favor, your weekend's coming up. I always to say this to you guys: go out there, man, make somebody's day. Be caring and loving to somebody because you never know what somebody's going through out there, and be there for each other. I um i hope this helps some of you. I hope hope this gave you guys some insight as to kind of what it is I do for a living and how hypnosis helps and how it can help you change your mindset and get you moving forward in a new direction. If there's anything that I can do for you, or you guys want to do a free consultation, I'll put a link in the message board below, where you guys can come in and you can actually book a free consultation with me and we can talk and we can kind of discuss what you're doing and where you are in life. And if I can assist you or not, I may not be able to assist you. You might be doing really, really well, and there's nothing I can do to change or to assist you. And I have no problem telling you that. All right, let me see if I can get a link for you guys. I'm going to kind of move into a different screen for a second. And if I can find a link for you, I'll place a link in here. And then just click on the link and it'll let you put yourself on my schedule, okay? But I hope that helps some of you guys understand. And I know I'm having a lot of questions about the 8-week weight loss challenge. Do me a favor, if you want to do the 8-week weight loss challenge and you're hearing my voice right now, whether it's on a replay or it's live, just go ahead and text message me or DM me into the DM, and I will go ahead and get that set up for you guys. So you guys, matter of fact, if you come from one of the Facebook lives or in YouTube lives or Instagram lives, let me know that, and I will make sure that you guys get a 10% discount. How's that? I will make sure you guys get a 10% discount when you join me. I'm trying to find this link. Hopefully I can find this link before I close this out. Give me 1 second here, you guys. So many new things. I got so many new things coming in, so many new changes are happening. Good stuff, but as many of you know, there's a lot of things that are just different, aren't they? Things are really just changing. I mean, I think this pandemic has really pushed us into a place where we learned very quickly the things that we had to do and very quickly what we had to do to advance. So I think there is a 10% off the 8 week that just popped up in there. If you don't see that, let me know. We'll work on getting that to you. If not, I'm going to give you my link to my 30-minute consultation. You guys are welcome to do that as well. It's self-booking. You can self-book yourself onto my schedule, and we'll do a 50-minute consult, and we'll see where you are. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out to me. Wish you the best and have a awesome, awesome time. Remember, do something for somebody.
I think these videos are brilliant, and I'm sure you will like them too. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell.